Thank you for existing.
Thank you for existing.
Oh man.
For existing because it is my deepest hope that more Afrikaans people are like you, actually.
You have to thank my mom and dad, actually. It's not really...
So humble. Again.
It's not really my doing.
Ew, man.
No, I mean...
That is hilarious.
It's nice of Christian to say that as well.
But hey, I mean...
Not like all of us Afrikaans guys, and he's just being an ass.
Yeah.
Fucking Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
Actually, Albert O's.
Ja, wie is jammer.
No, fuck you two. I've given you compliments, bro. This is a new person here.
I know, dude. I'm just going you a bit.
Ew, dude. The thing is, the one thing that I've noticed is that I'm very happy everybody here, at least here, and I feel like it's something that isn't done enough, is celebrating something that somebody's done. You like, as a genuine thing, everybody, whenever you see something good, it's like, oh yeah, that was cool, that was nice. Okay, now we're done. When somebody truly makes something, it should be something you actually appreciate for a bit. You tell people. You can't just sit back and be like, oh, that's nice. If you really think it's nice, you have to express that. Tell that to people. Tell that to the artist.
Here's the hypocrisy, bro. Where's the compliments for my poetry, assholes?
I gave you what? What the fuck, Christian? Yo, this is not. See, this is. You don't do that. You don't fish for compliments. You do. That's wrong.
Like, fortunately, we all know how to speak English, and we do live in a bilingual, or a multilingual world. And fortunately, most people speak English. At least most people on the internet. Is that a wrong assumption to make, though? I think more and more people are starting to speak English, at least.
I also think so. I think more and more people are going to start speaking English. It's definitely slowly transitioning over to being the dominant language for the planet.
The problem is just the amount of population they have in China, dude. And they're trying to learn English, but I was actually shocked during my time there to realize how many of them don't speak like a lick of English. Like, they can't even say good morning and hello, how are you to you type of level English. And I went to Shanghai, so I was like in a smaller city, and I kind of assumed that it was like that because I was in a smaller city. Then when I moved to Shanghai, I expected myself to have like conversations with people. Little did I know, people don't speak English.
No, I've seen a lot of things with people. You have to take a translator if you go to China. You have no choice. Like, you can't go with it otherwise. Fortunately,
cell phones do help. So that was like basically my main communication device, just like Google translating shit in real time.
Ish.
Oh fuck.
So Yusuf, like you've been cycling, huh? Dude? So like when you're talking about your cycling, sorry?
Yeah.
Like, and 50 kilometers was the furthest you cycled than this past week, right? Or was it a little bit?
Yeah, so it turns out that was actually like a 60k ride, but I mean, yeah, it was quite fun, I must say. It was really interesting, especially in the beginning, because my seat was hurting my ass a lot, and like I was just thinking, I'm just gonna turn around and go home or whatever. But then I just like gave it 5-10 minutes, and I was like, okay, now I'm good. Let's go.
Kind of ease into it.
I did the 60k, but yeah, it was fun.
No, well done. I've
and I have a single speed.
Wait, did you just say you had a single speed?
I have a single speed.
What is wrong with you? How did you do 60 on a single speed?
Legs of steel.
It's that comes out of the looking like a Tour de France driver or rider.
I saw your progress pics actually as well, Yusuf, on Facebook, man, and you've made a lot, dude.
What's that? Say again?
I said it's just you've made a lot of progress, dude, and it's so satisfying. Like with your exercise and like with your personal development as well. Like I maybe a little bit of a Facebook stalk. Like when I get into someone's life, like you're important to me, so I want to know what you looked like when you were a kid and the works. So it makes me happy to see how that's gathering friends that want to grow.
Yeah, that's for me very important at the moment as well. It's like you can have 100 friends, but they might not be anything worth to you. But you can have 5 really good friends, and it can really put you in front, like way in front than what you would have just been alone.
Yeah, but that's like the point of the world. It's make friends and people that can help you get through certain situations, because it's very difficult to do things on your own. Like very, very difficult to motivate yourself, to get yourself to think that this is better and to do it this way is hard. But if you can go and be like, yo man, listen, please give me some advice. I don't know how to do this. Do you think I'm pulling out too early? Do you think I'm being too much of a sissy to continue this? Or do you have a better idea for me? That interaction, to be able to do that with close friends, is huge.
I agree, actually. And like, I do believe that there's a reason people get brought together in this universe. And I believe the vibration that you put out in your head is the vibration that you attract to yourself in your life and in your friends as well.
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I've just from my
go for it.
side, I've discovered more and more it's whatever you feed yourself every day is definitely one of the most important things you need to monitor and try and
Are you talking specifically food wise?
Keep healthy. So whatever you look at, whatever you hear, whatever you listen. No, I'm talking about pretty much everything, like from
literally everything.
No, I agree. It's
going back to the whole consumerism mentality these days.
Internalized. So yeah. No, it all affects your energy and everything.
No, yeah, go for it.
Sorry,
yeah, go for it.
I believe that in this world that we live in, since we have the internet and since we all know how to access things on the internet, more so than ever, we can expose ourselves to things that are subjectively negative or subjectively energy sapping to us. And as Joseph said, it's something that you're consuming, literally. Everything that you look at, everything that you listen to, you're consuming it because you're making it part of your being. So you have to be very aware of the things that you decide to make part of your being.
That's very interesting, because I'm gonna segue with that, because something that's very interesting that's been happening to me this weekend, this week. Monday, I released my first video and I was so proud of it. It went so well and everything. And then Tuesday and Wednesday was the most down and depressed I have ever been, or not ever, in like 2 or 3 years. And I am almost 100% convinced that it was because I was trying to force myself into a corner and a thing by, first off, kind of viewing the wrong stuff on YouTube, trying to discover and force myself into this niche of an area that I actually didn't want to go into. I ended up at the spot where, because of what I was looking at and what I was thinking about the whole time, was not who I really was deep down. It was what I thought I wanted to be. And I was very wrong. And I ended up at this like kind of depressive state, because you're going against who you are. You're going against your being. You're going against everything you're putting out. And after I realized that, which took a while, a lot of complaining, a lot of thought, and a lot of working out, I realized that what I was doing was just off from what I wanted. It was very close, but that subtle change in what I ate today, first off, getting up, making a breakfast, getting up earliest, getting the right enough sleep, and then also focusing on the right direction, really ended up helping.
Yeah, and it's so easy, as you said, to get into that rut of like you look at what the world is like showing you, and then you compare, and you're like, maybe I should be doing this, maybe I should be doing that, and the more maybe I should be, you're taking away from what you are, because you shouldn't be anything that this world shows you. You should only be yourself, because only you have the power to change this world around you, to realize all of your dreams.
Yeah, it's such a phenomena that it's so hard to experience as well without actually experiencing it. You can't think about it. You could think about it a lot actually, but up until you get to the point where you, without even realizing it, are kind of pushing against the tide, trying to get to a place where you actually aren't meant to be. It takes a step back. It takes that moment to go, yo, listen. Why do I feel this bad? Why do I feel like what I'm doing is not enough? Why do I feel like what I'm doing at this moment isn't what I'm supposed to be? Your gut tells you a lot. Without realizing it, you need to listen to it. Your gut really, really emphasizes where you should be going, where you might end up, and it definitely tells you if you're ending up in the wrong spot.
I agree completely. And like, you're making me think about something that I went through when I was like 16, 17. I wanted to start the content creation career back then, but like exactly the same way that you were talking about, I was watching what was popular on YouTube, and I couldn't see myself doing that and doing what is like expected of me in a sense. And it also, in the same way, it sapped my momentum. It sapped what I believed was possible for myself. And like that self-doubt is what kind of pushed me to only start doing what I actually wanted to do, almost 6 years later. Like, imagine if I just didn't have all of that self-doubt or look as much to the world for inspiration, and I just actually started doing what I wanted to do. I think we stop ourselves sometimes, unfortunately. Most of the times, actually.
Yeah, in a lot of sense, you can be your worst enemy when it comes to your own growth. And
it might be necessary,
in my life as well. So still experiencing that. It never really stops. But I think when you become more aware of certain things and certain patterns in your life and choices you make, and the results of those choices, you end up, realizing like, okay, this is good for me.
Steering in the right direction.
Then your intuition.
As the 5 a.m. thing helps with that, actually. So, Johan, I was asking, sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. It's
so
like
as the 5 a.m. thing help.
Oh.
No, the connections like there's like 2 seconds latency between us speaking and you hearing it. I can see. So.
Oh damn!
It's not an issue.
No problem. Yeah. So all I wanted to ask is, like, with the self-sabotage and with the patterns that you see yourself going into that are subjectively negative, I feel like ever since I started following this 5 a.m. club thing, I've almost allowed myself to escape some of those patterns. Have you experienced the same thing?
Sorry, I just lost you there for a bit. Just had to change my connectivity. You're asking, when it comes to certain patterns of behavior, like the things that you do every day, you're asking if that changed with 5 a.m. Club?
Yeah, basically.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how did they change more specifically? Like, do you feel like there was...
for me, definitely certain things have changed. Okay, so I can give you a few examples. So with 5 a.m. Club, it gives you a predetermined goal of what you want to do for the day. And, you have a set time that you wake up and you have a set time when you go sleep. And you're going to get good enough sleep to be able to have a productive day. So, for example, otherwise, when I don't wake up at 5 a.m., then I just wake up whenever, and like 8, 9, 7, whatever. So instead of immediately jumping up out of my bed, putting down my exercise mattress and doing 10 or 20 minutes of exercise, I'll maybe just like wake up and take out my phone and look at Instagram or something, for half an hour or whatever. And then maybe only exercise.
It's almost like you're not committed.
So it's like, it's really like, yes, like it's a very uncommitted, like you're making life happen to you instead of for you, if you understand what I mean.
I like that way of saying that.
You just yeah. So you just go into that stream of wherever that the day is taking you, instead of having a what would you call it, a intention, and which is a word that keeps on reoccurring for me, especially with choices you make, is what's your intentions between your choices.
I don't know if you've watched any of my streams.
To your thoughts, because your thoughts is pretty much the source. Now I've watched a few of your streams.
Sorry for the latency. Sorry for the latency, dude.
Yeah.
But like basically, like when you said intention, dude, like it made this. It just like warmed me up, bro. Because intention is literally the thing that I try and focus on almost the most on my stream. Like I won't light my joint until I've set an intention for lighting that joint. And I feel like you're so right about the intention and things that you put forward.
I've seen one episode that you, especially that beginning part where you're like, okay, so I'm rolling this joint and I'm going to smoke it with this intention. And that I was like, yes, you have something there that's makes the biggest difference, because so many people, they'll smoke weed every day or whenever just to relax, or they don't really know why exactly. They're just smoking because they enjoy it, or just however it makes them feel. It's nice, but your thoughts, what I experience when I smoked weed is my thoughts are just everywhere. I just like, my thoughts just go on this one train and just keep going, and then it goes on to the next track and then to the other. But if you put intention behind it, I think it kind of gives your thoughts like a guide. Okay, cool. Direct your focus here, and it gives you that almost like a bit of a boost of some sort.
Yeah, what's insane to me,
I really enjoy it.
What's insane to me is I used to use, I still do. I used to use weed to study, which is amazing to most people because weed causes your short-term memory to be worse. But because I had a ritual of, I knew I needed to study and I knew I needed to get it done. And because THC gives you allows your brain to fire a bit quicker, if you use and properly set the intention of what you want for that data, at least for that session to happen. Okay,
so I took his call. Welcome, Christian.
Yo, come fucking 10 minutes late. What are you doing?
Let me turn my fucking camera. I blind some people with my ugliness. Hold on.
Yusuf, this is Christian.
Yeah, one of the weirdest people I know.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Who are you, Mr. Nobody? I love that movie.
Yeah, that's definitely stuck with me. That's why, as you can see.
That's one of the best movies ever, man. That's an incredibly philosophical one, incredibly underrated. Not enough recognition.
It's a Jared Leto movie as well, dude. Like,
I know.
It's so crazy.
You ask people about it, and like many people don't.
Nobody knows about it. It's disgusting.
Johan, do you know about?
Somebody told. I think Chris might have told me about it the other day, or you told me about it, Estian. One of the two.
Yeah, I think I told you, but it's like a 2 hour and 40-minute movie or something like that. So
who's long?
But it's a good one. Like, it's definitely worth the watch.
Who's this new person? Explain them to me quickly.
So, Christian, I told you about the painting I bought, right?
Beautiful painting. I never told you.
Are you the artist?
He's the artist.
Can I quickly
just
share a
say-
photo of the painting?
Please.
Yeah,
share
please.
a photo.
I'll throw it on.
Have you
Can I
seen it
just
already?
say, man, well fucking done.
Yeah.
Well
Ah.
fucking done. That is
Thanks, bro.
absolutely amazing. I loved it. I loved every single inch of it. As big as your paintings are, that's saying a lot. That
Dude.
takes an astronomical amount of effort. Well done, sir.
Yeah. Show me.
Thank you.
Throw an
I'm
image
trying
in
to see if I can
Alkali.
find
Put
it.
it up so that people can see it.
I think you can screen share, right?
Was your name Yusuf?
That's the one, Christian.
Yeah, it's Yusuf, yeah. Oh, you or Joseph, either way.
Yusuf, don't you dare motherfucking give up. Do you hear me? Don't you dare motherfucking give up. You fucking pour every single bit of energy you have in yourself into this shit. You are doing absolutely great.
Yeah, no,
You're doing great.
that painting's ridiculous. I saw it for the first time.
Appreciate
And,
it.
dude, I saw it for the first time and it was just fucking phenomenal when Estian sent it to me. I was kind of speechless for a second.
It's like, I'm still speechless. Like, I don't have it yet. And it feels almost unreal, and I probably won't believe it until I actually see it in person.
Just there, for anybody that is interested, there is the painting. It is
There it is.
absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
So where did you get the inspiration
One thing
for
I can
it?
tell you guys, it was freaking scary.
Yusuf,
It was
can I
so
just-
scary painting this thing, I'm telling you. It was
It was very what? Sorry?
Scary.
like every time I wanted to put down a paintbrush, like a stroke of paint,
stroke.
like every time it just was just like this scary feeling, but it was still like very
That's art, my friend. That's art. It's
fulfilling. But
scary
then
every
when I get in the
single point of
grooves,
way.
it's just so satisfying, dude.
I'm just so in love.
but I loved
with
it. I
painting,
really
dude.
Yusuf, can I ask how old are you?
23.
20 fucking 3.
No.
20 fucking.
That's
are you
insane.
fucking kidding me? My friend, you only have
No.
things improving for you at this point.
Yep. I told him the same
no,
thing. dude. I believe
Yeah,
in it.
Do not
thanks, bro. But like,
underestimate.
yeah, it's
do not underestimate what you have right now. Do not humble yourself. Do not humble yourself. Let that shit grow, my friend.
Yes.
Do not underestimate yourself right now. You have so much room to grow. And here's the tough part. Now you gotta get better than that.
Get out, Chris. The greatest motivational speaker.
No, there's always room for improvement. That's for sure, dude.
Like, you know what the trippiest part to me is, Yusuf?
Yeah,
Like, I look forward to having this in my home for the rest of my life, dude. And I'm going to see all of the soul that you've poured into this painting every single time that I look at it as well, dude. And I can't wait to grow, see myself grow, see you grow, and then remember, dude, where we were when I bought this painting from you, man. Like, just imagine what's to come.
Yusuf, you're just a voice on the other side of the screen, but I like you already. You're fucking fantastic, man. And, let me tell you something. I can already sense you're a fuck humble soul, my friend, and don't let that shit drag you down. Do you hear me? Here's another thing I want to say.
I'm grateful, bro.
Have you seen Zima Blue?
Oh.
Zima Blue. I've not seen that.
Oh no,
yes, I have seen Zima Blue,
the
yes.
robots. Love, Death and Robots
Love,
episode.
Death and Robots.
Love
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this. Yeah, it's like
you've seen Zima Blue, right?
it's Love, Death and Robots.
Dude, I probably watched it like 3 times. I don't know.
Dude, Zima Blue is the number one rated one.
I'm gonna become a
Go for a sorry,
cyborg.
Joseph.
oh, fucking hell.
You're keep heading in that direction, my friend. That's your art. Paint even bigger canvases.
No, for sure.
Giga canvas.
Yeah, this one was fun.
You know how big this thing is? Just for those watching, it's 3 meters by 1.4 meters. It's a ginormous.
It's huge.
It's so
ridiculous.
big. Oh, it's amazing as well.
Yeah,
Yo,
it's
dude,
the biggest canvas that I could have ordered. Yeah, I had it made specifically for painting. But yeah.
So Yosef, do you want to share like how long you were basically
I love
showing this
about having
painting?
done this was.
Sorry, dude. Like, there's a little bit of latency. It feels like we're interrupting each other. What I wanted to ask is, do you want to share how long, like, you were painting this, and then how long you were showing this to the world before someone bought it from you, dude? Like, it's like this. This is the start, dude. Imagine.
My friend, art is true art. Can I say it this way? True art is severely underestimated in our day and age. We need art. We need art to make us more. We need art to make us more human. These days we're becoming fucking robotic, my friend. And you're one of the people that are going to be leading this world in the direction of more creativity, a renaissance that is needed.
No, dude, we're. I feel we all creators, bro. Like every single person is a creative. You might not be creative in painting or whatever, you know.
You're 100% right. Every single person is a creative, but it takes
something
it takes bravery. It takes bravery to actually feed into that creativity. People are cowards these days.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But things are changing, dude.
It's easy to be led. It's easy to be led into a direction where you feel that you have to build a life that is like
ordinary.
Shaped like a box, if I can say it like that, where you fit in somewhere. You know, you fit in with a certain social group or a certain
yes, man,
in a cubicle
way of being, if I can say it like that. And it's usually it comes from a deeply ingrained need to be a part of something
accepted,
bigger. But I feel what it might be is that we've lost a certain sense of individuality.
Definitely.
I don't know.
Because there are 8 billion people. There are 8 billion people on this planet. Of course, we have lost a bit of individuality. Let me ask you, Yusuf, what is your surname?
Exactly. Groblar. Are you Afrikaans? But anyway, whatever. Groblar.
He's Bulgarian.
Afrikaans nie, maar oh.
But he speaks pretty Afrikaans pretty well, actually. Like, surprisingly well. My mom only speaks Afrikaans to him these days, and he speaks Afrikaans back. So, like, kudos to him.
Nice.
Let me tell you, Groblar. Thank you for existing.
Thank you for existing.
Oh man.
For existing, because it is my deepest hope that more Afrikaans people are like you, actually.
You have to thank my mom and dad, actually. It's not really...
So humble. Again.
It's not really my doing.
Ew, man. That is hilarious.
It's nice of Christian to say that as well.
But hey, I mean...
not like all of us Afrikaans guys, and he's just being an ass.
Yeah.
Fucking Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
Actually, Albert O's.
Yeah, wees jammer.
I've given... No, fuck you two. I've given you compliments, bro. This is a new person here.
I know, dude. I'm just going you a bit.
Yo,
man.
dude.
my
No, the thing is, the one thing that I've noticed that I'm very happy everybody here, at least here, and I feel like it's something that isn't done enough, is celebrating something that somebody's done. You like, as a genuine thing, everybody, whenever you see something good, it's like, oh yeah, that was cool, that was nice. Okay, now we're done. When somebody truly makes something, it should be something you actually appreciate for a bit. You tell people. You can't just sit back and be like, oh, that's nice. If you really think it's nice, you have to express that. Tell that to people. Tell that to the artist.
Here's the hypocrisy, bro. Where's the compliments for my poetry, assholes?
I gave you what? What the fuck, Christian?
Victim role here.
Yo, this is not. See, this
More,
is.
he said.
You don't do that. You don't fish for compliments. You do. That's wrong.
Oh, even more hypocrisy. You don't fish for compliments, assholes. What happened like 10 seconds ago?
Oh.
Oh, Christian.
Yeah, fuck you.
Christian, how's work, dude? How's blonde chick?
Yo, blonde chickie, bro. Yeah, yes, I don't know, bro. Yo. I'm not even trying, bro. I'm not even trying. I'm letting things flow. Work is good though. Work is good. I'm enjoying it. The people are. Here's the thing that I consider myself very lucky in. I got into a new IT company, completely just fresh out of startup, and these people are trying to maintain a culture where there is no HR.
Wow.
And I'm talking like people are just fucking swearing left, right, and center. They're being themselves. There's no control over the environment. But every single one of them are incredibly passionate and hardworking, and at the same time being themselves, which I find incredibly rare in the working environment that exists.
You know what's
in our current day and age.
You know what's very interesting? That was if you like something about. I want to read it again, but the Tao Te Ching. It's the main
Tao Te Ching.
Yeah, it's
to the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's the main book written by Lao Tzu in regards to what Taoism is. It's their main. It's kind of like Christianity's Bible. But anyways, Taoism
or Taoism.
Taoism. Yeah, it's technically Tao because the T in ancient Chinese was Tao, so you'd say Taoism,
Yeah.
but so in Taoism and the Tao, but in Taoism they have this thing. The main book is written about people, but it's also about leadership, because back in those days the Chinese was very, very much in all the philosophy was written for the kings, because they were the only educated enough people to understand and be able to read the stuff. So one of the big things
were
that
like 13. Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
Yeah. All the Chinese emperors back in the day, they started being emperor at the age of like
13.
13?
Yeah.
Very
14?
young.
So it talks a lot about how to rule. And the Tao Te Ching actually really emphasizes that a king should not force, or a ruler should not force their subjects or people into a certain way. Rather, they should project what they want and let people get there on their own, which is, I think, a really cool philosophy. And it kind of sounds like the place you're working at is pushing a little bit towards that direction.
Which only like one or two emperors in the Chinese dynasties ever achieved.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
It's hard. But that's what I think today's age and people sorely need. We're everybody kind of feels, and you can see this, and I kind of felt like that as well, is social media and everybody's kind of that box that you were talking about is kind of forcing an opinion on the world. At every stage, everybody kind of, you have to go this way, you have to go this way, or in the work situation, you have to be this way, or you have to be that way. But that's not what gets people to do things. People do things that they're passionate about, and then if they are passionate about the thing, they'll do anything and in any way to get to that point. So your work environment that's now pushing for people to be who they want to be, and then let them get to wherever they want in the company because they're passionate about what the company's doing, rather than they're in there for the money and they're just listening to what the company wants.
So on that note, Christian, I actually want to ask you, do you think that it's sustainable to do that for like a global corporate company that has like thousands of employees? Because I do see that sort of structure working in a company that's like less than 40.
Very small. No,
Yeah.
you're completely right. You're completely right in that sense. Let me tell you, I don't think so.
You don't think it will work in a global corporate company?
Here's the simple fact about it. The process that I had to go through in order to get into this company was by far one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I had to prove myself. I had to prove not only on a technical level, not only on a hard working level. I had to prove myself in terms of an emotional and personality level.
Oh, wow.
These people were checking, like, is this person right for us? Because they have a very particular niche sort of environment that they want people to fit into. They want you to be
Part of something.
Not just part of something. They want you to be part of something and also be yourself.
See, but
Yeah.
now this is where I'm going to step in and say I disagree with Chris. I do think it can work on a big company scale, and the reason I say that, the reason I say that is there's this guy in America. The main base is built in Malaysia, but his name's Vishin Vitesh or something along those lines. I'll get the exact name and throw it on the screen here. But he runs and is the owner of a company called Mind Valley. They're the biggest company designed for personal growth and that. But I think I have told you guys about this. There's this kind of one of the people that they work with is this husband and wife who designed a thing called Lifebook. And Lifebook is you go on a retreat, and over 2 months they take you and they have you meditate and they have you think about where you want to take your life. And at the end of it, you come out with a 100-page book about where you want to take your life. The company then says, "Cool, do you want to stay? If you don't think the company's for you anymore, you can leave. That's fine. But if you believe in our vision, please stay." So they've taken the approach where they actually take you and give you a course on improving yourself and improving and uplifting yourself, and then they step back and they say, "Okay, cool. Do you still want to stay at the company?" I think the reason that it might not work is because nobody's tried it. Nobody has actually.
No.
Yes, I do. What is your counterclaim to it?
I don't mean to be, and this is where most people call me negative and pessimistic and cynical. I do believe that. But here's the fact, my friend. People are fucking retarded. Okay? Okay? And this is why you ask in terms of a global company whether this will be an actual realizable goal. I'm going to tell you no, simply because diversification is a necessary and fundamental part of nature. Yeah, you cannot have this global company that will accommodate people in such a way, because I can promise you HR and other fucking political bullshit is going to get in the way of that. And people are going to say, okay, we need to accept more ethnical groups in this way, and we also need to accept these other people that are slightly less privileged than others. And let me tell you, the education level, the intelligence level, it's going to start decreasing.
How is that possible? How can a species' intellectual capability decrease by implementing that?
I think our emotional intelligence will actually increase.
I also think so.
Then we will no longer be following rules and regulations because we're scared of HR. We'll actually be able to be the people that we're supposed to be in a social environment, because what is acceptable in that social environment is going to be implemented by the environment, not by some arbitrary rule system.
Fine, I agree. Here's where I disagree, though. It is not possible right now.
I might climb on board with that idea and say maybe not at this very moment. In the next 20, 30 years,
not
maybe.
Right now. Maybe in future. I 100% and I wholeheartedly hope so, that it will be achievable. But right now, no. There are too many inequalities, too many imbalances, too many different. And here's the thing: is that a lot of it has to do with personal pain as well. There is an astronomical amount of pain that we cannot acknowledge in other people because we have not experienced it. Therefore, we judge them based on a certain standard that they cannot achieve because of their own personal pain that we cannot fathom. And and there has to be a bar that people have to achieve. Otherwise, what's the point of having them in the company? If they cannot provide value, if they cannot provide a certain amount of work ethic, what is the value in having them in the company?
Yeah, I agree with that, homie. But like, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that if you actually I also believe that they should truly make work weeks only 4 days and give people 3-day weekends. And then on top of that, have a type of environment where people have the freedom.
That's a whole different argument, though.
No, dude, it's like it's all intertwined, dude. And then on top of that, giving people the freedom to be expressive, to be themselves. Like, obviously, you still have to perform and you still have to hit your bar. Like, the actual implications of what your job isn't going to change. Just the social structure around what you do at work and how you're supposed to act at work is going to change. Like, you should be able to wear whatever you want to wear, for example. Like, could you, Christian, if you wanted to show up the way that I like to dress at work?
No, I could not do that right now.
You see, why not?
I cannot show up, for example, at work in a shark onesie. You know,
but why not?
I technically I could, but here's another funny thing about human psychology is that we are subconsciously judgmental. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care how humble you are. I don't care how acknowledging and loving you are. You are, at the end of the day, subconsciously judgmental. And because we are perfectly flawed in that way as humans, this has an effect on the business flow.
But no.
I don't believe that everybody is judgmental. I believe we all have the capacity to be judgmental, but being judgmental is you living in fear instead of living in love and forgiveness.
My friend, 100%. But you have to be taught not to be that way. Some people teach themselves. Other people need to be taught. But this takes time.
Okay.
And not just 2 weeks. Not just 2 weeks, not just a month, not even just a year. Some people need a couple of years to reach that level. Now, Estian, you've been through a very strange time of life and it has made you who you are today. Johan, you have been through a very strange time of life and it has made you who you are today. Other people don't go through that. I promise you, they don't.
It's true, dude. But I do believe that because of the things that we've been through and because of the people that we've become, it is our responsibility to give back to this world, dude.
Yes, here we go. Here's another thing that I've encountered recently is that now we've come to realize these things and we want to teach people a better way. Here's the other problem. The other person is also a human being. And they're going to look at you and they're going to say, "You egotistical motherfucker, what makes you think you can teach me better?"
Yeah, that's just human nature. But more and more people are realizing that people can teach you things.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the most important lessons that I had to learn in my life because I grew up very intelligent and I believed I was always the most intelligent person in the room. And because I believed that wholeheartedly, I never wanted to listen to anybody. No. I was like, "Oh wait, what the fuck are you going to tell me? I know so much more than you."
Same thing.
It took some beating of the ass, dude, by life for me to realize that people can teach me things, dude. And ever since I've come to that realization and I've almost eased myself into that, I feel like life has been a lot easier for me, dude.
Yeah, my friend, but you have gone through the necessary ass beatings. Johan has gone through the necessary ass beatings.
Joseph, I don't know if you've gone through the
And here-
necessary
here's-
ass
here's the
beatings.
worst-
Yusuf has been through the necessary ass beatings.
Okay.
Yusuf is a very
Yusuf,
kind
I don't
and loving
know, I don't know
person.
well enough just yet, but I can almost tell that he has been through the
Trust me,
necessary life.
if you heard where I came from, you'd be shocked. It's a fucking...
But let me tell you,
Bro,
other
most people have.
no,
Not a
my
lot,
friend.
but most people have.
Most people
There's
may
some
have gone through the same amount of ass beatings as you have, if not even more. But they have not had the receptive capabilities to learn from it the way you have. That's where you are privileged.
I don't believe
That
any of
makes
us
a
are
big
privileged.
difference
Dude.
to
Sorry, Yusuf, please. Like, I'm gonna keep quiet.
No, it's fine. So yeah, it's like you say, you can fall down, but you the way you react to how you fall down is what really determines then how you like how you live your life in the end, because it's like you either learn from it or you react in a way that's like totally emotional or like.
But that's not a common ground for everyone. That's all personal to everyone. That's where the problem lies in, is that it's relative.
You see, at the end of the day, Christian, what I believe, and this is my belief system, I believe we are all created in the image of God. And that image of God is pure love.
Are you even religious, Estian? I'm actually curious at this point. I've had so many conversations with you.
Friend.
There's a slight... No, there's a very big difference. There is
a big difference.
There is.
So I believe, honestly, I truly believe we all have the capacity to learn from the things that we are experiencing, but sometimes we want to learn in the wrong way. If you understand what it is I'm trying to say, dude. Sometimes we want to be blind to the lessons we're learning. We want to keep falling down and we want to keep getting hurt because that in itself is a subjective experience that we want to experience. And unfortunately, some of us are awakening to the fact that we no longer want to live in illusion. We no longer want to be part of this fear-mongering mindset. We no longer want to be a judgmental of our fellow humans, because we're realizing finally that in being together, in doing stuff like this, chatting with each other, celebrating each other's creations, we can live our vibrational frequency, lift our vibrational frequency as well. And I think it's all of our responsibilities to do that to everyone that we interact with everyone that we meet in our lives, and to constantly push that mindset.
Yeah.
That is an ideal view that we should be striving towards every single day of our lives. That is not something I disagree with you upon. It's something that we need to work towards. It's something that we have to achieve. It's something that we are always fighting for. All the small people, all the little people that really do care and really have love in their hearts, that's what they are fighting for. But let me tell you, the realization of that dream is not so easy, and it is a war. It is a different kind of war.
We've been fighting that war for a long time, dude.
Yes.
And do you know what?
Yes, it's the new thing. It's the new thing.
Yeah, go for it, Chris.
It's like a war of consciousness of some kind.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is the war between the divine mind and the ego.
No, it is a war between the physical, the reality, and also the infinite imaginative capabilities of the human mind. So we can see...
the human mind, dude? The mind of God, dude. The human mind is...
mind of God, whatever you want to call it. But we are capable of seeing the most beautiful thing that we can do in our current lives. The problem is, reality also presents us with a bunch of problems in between.
There's no such thing, dude.
No. Oh. There is. Listen to me. Nothing meaningful and nothing impactful, nothing that is supposed to last for infinity will ever be achieved in the span of a couple of minutes. It takes an incredible amount of pain. It takes an incredible amount of hard work, and it takes an incredible amount of Suffering.
Omi, can I just say this? No human has ever discovered anything in all of time that was born in time that has not died in time. Time is an illusion, dude. No matter how long you spend, the truth will always be true, dude. That there's only divine infinite consciousness.
Yeah.
And that divine infinite consciousness lives out of love and forgiveness.
But you're speaking in terms of infinity, my friend. And that's the beauty of infinity. Everything is possible.
But
where we find ourselves currently, though, in the physical space-time continuum, we have been given a few set of rules, a set of rules. We've been given a set of rules that we cannot change currently. It's funny because we can't change them, but that's how powerful we've become as well. But we've been given this in the physical space we live in on this earth, in this current time, the way time flows where we are right now, in the gravity that we exist in the frequency that we exist in, this is the set thing that is called reality. And we cannot change that. We cannot change that right now. We cannot change that right now. It is the common thing that binds us all together.
Are you talking about the fact that we live purely physical? Is that what you're saying? Or you would I don't exactly understand what you mean the limitations of. Are you talking about the physical?
Okay, let me try and simplify this. We all live by a clock.
Technically, yes.
A biological clock.
A clock that reaches 8 o'clock when you see 8 o'clock and when I see 8 o'clock, right?
Not really, dude. Like, time zones is a thing as well, actually.
Okay, but that's still a margin. It still changes by a variety of maximum, 14 hours, I think?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's not that much of a variation. It's still a clock.
Okay.
That is still a rapid constant. Basically, we are living in the same time. When technically our minds, our imaginative minds, we're living in completely different realities. Not even just time, realities. That is the power of human beings.
There's no such thing as time. There's only this current moment. So maybe that's what it is you're trying to say. No, friend.
No.
For all of us.
No, for you.
Like, even if you're sleeping,
you,
you are in your current moment. Like, there's one current moment. Like, if someone dies, dude, this is one of my favorite Marcus Aurelius quotes. He goes, I'm going to paraphrase as well. He goes into saying that no matter if you live 10 years, 100 years, or 10,000 years, if that person dies, the same thing is lost regardless of how much time you spend doing whatever you want to do. A single moment is lost. And that's all that is lost, is a single moment, dude. And that is exactly what we have. And we're sharing that single moment with each other right now. Because we chose to.
What I'm trying to explain is a scale. It's a fraction. In the infinite span of the universe, we are living in a fraction. And that fraction to us is currently scalable. I have no grand way to explain this. Maybe I'm lacking in the vocabulary or the science. But what I'm saying is currently, in our lifetime, you start your life and your life will end in a certain amount of time that is very, very, very relative to the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're almost living the same.
It makes us relatable. We can understand. And that's incredibly powerful as well.
But then again, friend, I also believe that the experience we have through the animals and the bugs and the trees, that's all still the divine mind of God, experiencing it in different sets of time. I don't believe time is relevant at all. I just believe that the mind of God wants in this moment to experience constantly. Like, there is lack of experience.
I had a very interesting conversation with my sister recently, right? This has got to do with something called the hive mind. So if I can explain it as simple as possible in terms of ants, right?
I know what a hive mind is.
Yeah, but explain it. So
there are many individuals that are almost exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
But in combination with those many individuals, something completely different, utterly unexplainable in behavior.
A new organism. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A new organism is formed.
What do you think you are, dude?
An atom in the body of a much larger being.
But
you are currently, all of us are a simple atom in the body of Earth. Your function is minute.
Yeah, but
it is necessary, fundamentally necessary, in order to keep this structure running.
But Chris, that's not a thing that we made. That is how everything in our universe is structured. From down to the smallest thing, it requires a bunch of individual planks to cause.
Do you imply that is our purpose?
Sorry?
No, say that again.
Are you implying that is our purpose?
To be
a part of the whole, Chris. Is that the purpose of each individual human?
To keep the structure running, as you say.
I think I think one of the biggest problems in our current predicament is that everyone thinks they are the main character, and everyone thinks they either have to save the story or destroy the story. And this is where I have to say that you are dust. You are an atom. You are less than an atom.
You're so wrong, dude. You're so wrong. Friend, you're so much more, dude. Like, if you identify with this little bag of meat, then yes, then you're dust. Absolutely.
No, my friend, there is nothing wrong with acknowledging that you're just an atom. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, you can take pride in that.
It's living in illusion, dude. You're so much more, dude.
What makes you think you're so much more? Explain to me.
A friend, personal experience. Let me just say that, dude. Like, I have met God multiple times. I've tried offing myself. I died as a kid. Like, believe me, dude, you're so much more than this body could ever express to you, dude. Whatever we're experiencing is a temporary learning device.
The thing is, Chris,
in terms of reality, what makes you think that's not an atom?
But Chris, that's I'm going to say it. That's pessimistically looking at it, because the thing is, if you are an atom in the entire goddamn grand scheme of this universe,
you're getting me wrong. You're understanding me wrong. I understand that this is a pessimistic view. I understand that this is very, very negative. I 100% fathom that. But if you cannot accept the most pessimistic view of the situation, you're living in an illusion.
I think you're the one living in the illusion. I think it's the other way around. Why?
I want you to start reading The Way of the Heart, dude. Like, it's going to open you, bro.
I breathe smoke to appreciate air. I taste the height of sour to love sweetness. I admit the gift of death to see the miracle of life. Sometimes we have to see the worst, most terrible scenario in order to truly fathom the height of amazing life.
So I have this little book of knowledge that I want to read you a few snippets, dude. You will only ever be what God created you to be, friend. And there is within each one of us a spark of divine light as a sunbeam from the sun. Your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus the attention of your consciousness. You, as an infinite being, have chosen to participate in this form of experience. What you experience, you have directly and deliberately called to yourself. It is seriousness within the mind that is the creation of ego. I come forth to meet you wherever you are because I have chosen to use the infinite power of consciousness given to me of the Father as equally that it is given unto you. Don't get distracted from the remembrance of who you are. Like, that's literally just one page, dude. I have pages and pages of this stuff, dude. You are so much more than a single atom, friend. Separation is an illusion.
That's what I was but Chris, no, but that doesn't make sense.
An illusion.
Fair enough. Yes, great. Separation is because if you are an atom in the grand scheme of the entire whole, you are so influential in this grand scheme of the whole working. If a single cell in your entire trillion cells that is this thing fucks up once, it's cancer and you die. It isn't that it is you as a being that is somehow a conglomerate of atoms, of trillion upon quintillion atoms, experiencing a world that is also made of quintillions of tiny little atoms, means that you are nothing more than that thing experiencing itself. And in that sense, you are so powerful because you are the thing you're experiencing. You are this grand being that has the capacity to experience the greatest, most.
You're 100% right, my friend. You're 100% right, and this is where the current argument comes into place. You are a one, you are everything, and you are a zero. You are nothing.
Oh, like you had the first one right.
No.
So
okay,
again, dude, you are constantly and only creating forms through which you can communicate. We are as forms communicating. Communication is the attempt to rest in communion with creation. Communication is creation. What I seek to convey reveals what I believe in truth about myself of the world.
What I love about you guys is just how incredibly positive and motivational you people are to the rest of humanity out there. This is something I acknowledge with a whole heart of happiness. I love it so damn much. Here's the thing. If you are constantly concentrating on nothing but the happiness and the positive, maybe that is your goal. Maybe that is what you are meant to be. Maybe you are the counterbalance on the scale of reality. Maybe you are the ones that are supposed to be pushing us forward. Maybe you are the ones that are supposed to be keeping us moving, keeping us constantly concentrating on nothing but the positives, the happiness, the existing, the being the whole, the being God, the being the all of reality, the existing for the purpose of continuing this thing forward. Maybe that is your role, 100%. I love it. I acknowledge that in you two. I see it.
But
yeah, I'm waiting for the bus.
Things. What is the purpose of that fight if an opposite balance did not exist?
I will give you that.
What are you fighting for?
I have a few more to read for you, dude. The Father's will is that you be happy. Failure is not possible no matter what it is you do. Your experience is a creation and you have done it. No matter if it's good, no matter if it's bad, it's still you creating that experience for yourself. Everything birthed in time also ends in time. Creation is ongoing forever and you will never cease to be. What you decree is. What is what you have chosen to make of it. Learn only to create as God creates. I am literally the creator of what I experience. You are forever linked to the mind of God. I need do nothing. Mastery comes when you know you are literally and deliberately creating. Mastery comes when you know you are literally and deliberately creating, dude. Become a creator, dude. You're so much more than a single atom, dude. You're the creator of all of it.
I am a creator, mate. What do you think I'm doing constantly every day of my life currently?
But then why aren't you expressing that part of yourself, dude? Why do you want to degrade your creation?
I'm not degrading my creation. I'm simply being humble about it.
Why? Why do you want to live in delusion, in fear, instead of love for what you have created?
Because a lot of the times when we see ourselves as doing something more, sometimes we tend to see ourselves as more than other human beings. There's a certain kind of poison that comes into it. It's strange. I don't know how to explain it properly, but let me try and portray it to you guys through one of my writings. It's currently loading, that I want to read to you. It's called Seconds in the Sand. The sands of our hourglasses never lie tamed, flowing into oceanic deserts of immortal fame. Listen. Here the grains tick seconds off of your life, lending their aid to death's ceaseless strife. Splendidly rife with the joy of eating souls, dark as coals, his fingers ever outstretched to any wretch whose time is all but spent. Be it newborn babe or crooked ancient, time is but a gift that is lent. Mortals granted chances to define their existence, every choice an instance for feeding their persistence to believe they matter. A prayer in the dark, yet the truth is cold, hard, and stark. There will come an end, and time will forget your joys, sorrows, hardships, and each regret. Names on tombstones wither in the winds, your story forgotten as another begins. In your hand lies unborn good deeds and sins. Twirl and twist them, yet never dismiss them. For the truly worst deed one may carry out is to lead an existence of doubt, where what is done before one's fall is nothing. Nothing at
all. Yeah. And I enjoy this poem, and I think it's a beautiful one, but I don't agree with the story that you're telling in it, dude. Because I believe that nothing is ever forgotten in the mind of God. Like, there's a reason we're experiencing this. And when this temporary learning device perishes, the lessons that we learned during this temporary learning period is going to stay with us as the mind of God. And I believe we are ever growing as the mind of God. And maybe the mind of God and the heart of God is just an egg, dude, for an even bigger being.
This is another thing that ties into another poem that says lonely God. What makes you think God doesn't want to forget?
God doesn't want to forget.
What makes you think God does not?
Separation from God is what makes you forget.
God does not want to forget. God
Separation
is too
from
lonely,
God.
My friend.
He's not lonely, dude. He's living in infinite divine creation. But he is growing, dude. Maybe if he's in an egg right now, like as Yusuf said, he's had that revelation as well. Maybe he's hatching so that he can join others like him. But then again, maybe there's then a big God above that, and maybe he's lonely. And then it goes on and it goes on and it becomes paradoxical, dude. And in the infinite universe, and especially with the way that we understand dimensions right now, like there's probably multiple dimensions as well to this whole God thing, dude. Like I don't think he's lonely at all, bro. I think there's so much in infinity that there is no such thing as loneliness.
That's where it comes down to the one and the zero, my friend, the good and the bad, is that if we took, in terms of Christian belief, right? If we're speaking in terms of Christian belief, which we're all very, very familiar with, based on our raising, on what we've been exposed to, if we take it as God being the ultimate thing that knows everything, that has seen everything, that will be and can be and will ever exist, it is the epitome of the top. It's the end of the infinite line. He will always, no matter what, feel alone because he is the epitome.
I don't think he's alone, dude. Like, that's the point I'm trying to make. There's no such thing as loneliness. So imagine an infinite sea, dude. Infinite sea, like there's no border to it. And then this little sea starts to make waves, dude. And this wave protrudes from this infinite sea and then lifts off, dude, and makes a single droplet. And then that single droplet, as you see it, you identify it as, oh, this is a single droplet. And you see it as an individual. But as soon as that droplet falls back into the ocean, you no longer have that separation. And it's the exact same thing with the experience that it is we're having right now. I'm God, you're God, Yosef is God, Johan is God. I don't feel lonely because here we are together, dude, in this infinite ocean of creation.
No, we chose to separate ourselves and forget for a little while, just so we can see ourselves as separate, so we can enjoy the fact that we are different individuals when in fact we are the same thing. We chose to forget so we can experience this that you say.
It's not forgetting, dude. It is illusion.
Because we don't remember what happened with our consciousness before we actually were born. Is that what you kind of like getting at here as well? Because I mean, you don't remember what happened before you're born. I don't remember that. None of us do. We just popped out here and as a single node of consciousness, and now we're expected to think a certain way and be a certain way, and unless we're curious and we ask why, and we don't question this reality, we don't question what we've been told and what's put upon us as hearsay fact or truth.
Here's the fact.
For that matter.
Then
how are we going to grow or evolve?
Here's the fact. Our puny human minds, as evolved as they may seem, as the greatest intelligence that in our known universe has ever come to exist, our puny human minds still cannot fathom this idea of infinity. We cannot. It is not in our capability to understand it. No matter what series we come up with, no matter what we think is to be true, no matter the philosophers that have existed in the past, Marcus Aurelius, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Alan Watts, I can name so many others that are currently at the top of my mind. It doesn't matter. You are still a puny human mind that in the span of infinity you cannot physically, chemically, biologically fathom this. No matter what you say. I'm
gonna speak afterwards.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what
no wonder.
I don't care what you come up with. No, Estian.
The Bible begins with
speaking that right now. That is
everything
absolute
was in 7 days.
Ego. You think you know what's going on, my friend. You're fucking wrong.
Friend,
you're fucking wrong.
You are infinite consciousness, dude. Like your intellect. You're right. Your intellect can't fathom something like that. But you are infinite consciousness.
Just so that I have a very interesting idea as to how and why we can't remember what comes before where we currently are, and it's actually such a simple solution, and I don't understand why it's so a more widely held belief. It's literally biology and chemistry that's keeping you from realizing it. It's not you. It is the fact that and I will agree with you, there are some slight constraints on this universe. We have our brains and the things we inhabit, at least to be able to experience the current reality that we're on, only starts when you gain this consciousness. And it can only store the stuff that you are experiencing here.
Biologically.
Biologically. It can't fathom what it actually cannot understand. And it's not that you aren't bigger or you can't truly believe, and belief is the only thing that can transcend where we currently are. It is if you can believe that you are more than the biology that is currently inhibiting you from going further. That is your big aim.
Here's the funny thing. I had a dream a couple of maybe 2 years ago. I came to realize we are constrained by 5 fucking senses: touch, smell, hearing, sight, and taste. We are constrained by these things. Everything we know, everything we can fathom, is constrained by these biological senses.
Okay.
What if I told you there are, for example, 20 other senses, and that's just a small amount?
I believe there's even more than that.
How much would our viewpoint change based off of just 20 additional senses?
Well, they have.
I mean, we would literally just become more aware of our own divinity, which is already something we have awareness of.
Dude, night vision, infrared, X-ray, they're there. The senses aren't necessarily attached to this fleshy thing, but we have them. We know that a lobster can see something ridiculous like 1 trillion different colors because of how its eye works.
Mantis.
The mantis shrimp. Yeah.
Fighting mantis shrimps.
So,
dude, it's crazy, dude. Like, you're right when you're saying that our experience is subjective to our senses. Because if you look at the amount of spectrum that our eyes can see and the amount of spectrum that we already know of, like, obviously we have a very, like, constrained and biased view of this universe that we're living in. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we were created to be creators, literally, in every moment, dude. And if you literally take your phone and you turn it sideways after it was completely straight on your table, you have created something. When you speak to someone, you're creating sounds with your face and you're creating an impulse in their brain. Actively creating.
I'd go so far as to say that you're the reason the universe keeps living in the area around you in certain aspects. Every time you speak, you are part of the thing that causes energy never to cease.
I like that. It's a good theory. Damn good theory.
Yeah, watch him try and work it out how to divulge it. Watch him. He's sitting there like, how do I be negative about this? How
as the can opener.
You guys assume I'm constantly trying. You guys assume I'm constantly trying to find the negative outlook of things.
I know you're not. I'm taking the piss.
True. In fact, I'm doing quite the opposite. I'm constantly trying the most positive, the most hopeful and astounding and most miraculous and beautiful outlooks. That's what I've been doing in all of my relationships in the past as well. I've always seen the potential that they can achieve. I've always seen the beauty, the amazing, astounding, romantic, evolutionary, revolutionary heights that it can reach. And let me tell you, life has fucked me up the ass every single time in terms of that.
Yeah, dude. And that's exactly what you wanted life to do to you. You were like, oh, wait, I want to get fucked in the ass. It is! Claim it.
That's not true.
Stop being a victim. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you, bitch.
Yeah? Yeah? What's ever? You guys have known me for years. What's the most intense thing I've ever wanted?
You've wanted to have a relationship,
a family.
Dude. That's beautiful, yeah, and that you can continue with and have a family. Oh, it's not.
Boom.
Have you been lying us to this whole time, or what?
That's exactly what I've wanted. All I've ever wanted was to find that beautiful damn human being I can have wonderful children with one day. That is all I've ever wanted in life. That is all I've ever wanted to achieve. And every single corner, there has been this giant motherfucker standing with a club.
Obviously.
Text printed across his face. This text printed across his face saying, fuck you.
But Chris,
you're not going to get it.
But Chris, do you know what happens and the reason you're not? It's because you have that expectation.
It's the wet soap thing, dude.
No, it is because you want something perfect. And it's not that it's the stuff you are doing, you weren't putting in that energy and it ended up poorly. It ended up poorly because you were putting in that amount of respect and energy and love. It's because it's why
it's not.
It is.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know me for you know me. You guys apparently think I'm always taking the most cynical and negative route. I have prepared for these things. In fact, I have acknowledged them and I have accepted them for what they are. With my previous relationship with Sass, she was far less intelligent, far less educated, far younger. I didn't care. I took these things to the chest. I acknowledged them for what they are. I accepted them, and yet I still tried to make it work. And guess what? It did not work.
And do you understand why it didn't? It's just because you made those sacrifices in the first place.
Yeah, you compromised yourself.
Dude, I'm gonna Chris, you weren't here when I said that. Yeah, go for it, Joseph, I'm sorry.
No problem. Have you ever heard of boundaries and manuals?
No.
Okay, so there's this thing when it comes to relationships where you have this idea about a person and how they are and how they act and what they should be like. Okay, so these expectations you have of a certain person are called manuals. Now, you get this idea about that person, and if they do something else, your immediate reaction becomes, oh, okay, so there's this disappointment, there's some sort of distrust, some sort of, like
alienation.
You've created this image of this person in your mind, expecting them to be a certain way, and if they don't carry on being that way, you are going to suffer. You are going to have to compromise.
Here's the thing.
To have to feel
my friend.
You're going to have to do certain things and do something different.
Here's the thing, my friend, is that those things happened. And I saw in them that they were downfalls in terms of what I believed in, but at the same time, I came to expect them, despite my expectations, what you might call expectations. I expected something of this person. It didn't come to pass, and I came to acknowledge that, and I came to accept that.
Christian,
and I came to forgive that, and I even came to to love that.
Can I take a little bit of a dig at you, Christian? And I don't mean to betray your trust or anything, but remember what your initial reason was for getting into a relationship with Sash. And I believe that was literally from the very start the problem, dude. Like you can't go into a relationship expecting that much of a person right from the start. If you understand what it is I'm trying to say.
Chris?
I do.
Okay.
But at the same time, sometimes those things are formed based on what that person.
Based on what that person is what?
If you love someone, you.
Oof, internet.
Yeah. Christian, you're breaking up just a little bit, man.
Sorry. What I'm trying to say that yes, expect those things. But if you love someone, if what they say is something what they truly mean, if you do love them, you trust them, and you have to accept what they mean, because that's the whole purpose of it. You have to see that this person is serious about the things that they promise. You have to acknowledge these things.
Fair enough.
You can't say like, oh, it's not in my expectations, it inevitably becomes part of your expectations if you trust this person in such a way. If they say, I promise I will always be there for you, something clicks in you and you begin to believe that. You begin to expect that.
But do you see that is, again, you becoming attached to something that was said, dude? And an attachment is, in this world, so
easy,
you can't get attached to
It's so easy to talk about these things, very hard to make it.
You do realize that I've been in long-term relationships, and those long-term relationships ended, right? For me, like what me and my girlfriend, my 2.5-year-long girlfriend, used to say to each other was every time we would say goodnight to each other, every time we would say goodbye to each other, we would write like vir ewig en vir altyd. So, which means like forever and ever, basically. And that forever and ever basically meant that we were going to be together forever and ever. And every single time I had to affirm before I go to sleep, when I said to her goodbye in the afternoon for whatever, if she went to go to do sport or whatever, it was also always that forever and ever mindset being repeated. And when that relationship ended, that was the thing that bothered me the most. And I agree with you, because it was this thing that we kept affirming. Exactly, dude.
She didn't.
And I understand that hurts.
But it was your responsibility to trust her.
And I did, dude. And that trust was betrayed, but it doesn't mean that
you did the right thing. She failed.
But you see, the point is, dude, I chose to experience what it is, what I experienced. And I learned so much from that relationship. But then claim it, dude. Be proud of it. See it as what you've created and take responsibility for it. See it as good. Don't try and run away from it. Don't see it as like,
I'm not running away.
What?
You're not
running away. You're right. You're not running away, but you're complaining about the fact that you haven't found this divine love that you've been looking for.
Fuck yeah. I'm always going to complain. I'll take it to the chin, but I'm always going to fucking complain at the same time, bro. What do you think? I'm going to push my buttons, bro.
As long as you keep complaining about it, it's going to keep being one step away from you, dude. As soon as you accept and you realize that you are already a complete being, dude, that's when you will be allowed.
It's been 3 fucking months. Give me a break. Give me a break.
I won't give you any fucking breaks because I love you too much.
No.
Give me I'm getting there. I promise. I am getting there.
Hey, I feel like he's the heroin addict, and he's just like, listen, I'm getting there. I'll give it up now. I promise.
Complaining, I promise. Just maybe complain a little bit.
I will, motherfuckers. Watch me. I will. I just need some time, because I really, to the bottom of my heart, as much as I've experienced in this life, and I have experienced a lot, I can promise you, this one I really loved. I really, really loved. And this was an incredible heartbreak.
I know,
incredible.
Friend. I know, dude. And I'm sorry for that, man. I am sorry for that. It breaks my heart as well, dude.
It happened, and it had to happen the way it did, and I understand that. And I completely accept that, but it's going to take me some time to recover from it. Just as you do with a normal physical training. When you put in everything you can, when you're fucking pushing, when you're giving everything of yourself to complete this fucking training, even though you're not ready for it, even though you're bloody, you're not physically capable of it, you're pushing all the way through, you can't breathe. You can't do the exercises properly, but you are giving everything of yourself that you can possibly can, and you're about to pass out. You're about to fucking die from the effort. But you did it. You did it, and you completed it, and it wasn't enough. and you have to come to terms with that now. It's like you gave everything of yourself, and it wasn't enough. It didn't.
Dude, you're not done giving, bro. That's the point. You're not done giving yet, dude. Gonna keep doing it.
But it takes time. It takes a second. It takes a minute. It takes an hour. It takes a day. It takes a week. It takes a month. It takes a year.
No, do you know how long it takes to get over something? It is when you decide to get over it. I spent years hating somebody, despising them with every fucking fiber of my being. And the day I decided to stop caring, not in the general sense, but about that one specific issue. It got so bad that I'd be in the shower and think about ways I could downgrade this person just because it made me feel better, but it made me a horrible person. It made me worse off because every time I got in the shower or I got to a place, I would think negatively about it. I'd think about ways I could make it worse for that person who hurt me. And it doesn't just go away. Time does not in fact heal all wounds. Time only heals all wounds because you find other things to replace that with. The only time a thing
Here's something that Estian taught me. Here's something that Estian taught me that has been incredibly painful in my life for the past couple of months. The opposite of love is indifference.
Yeah.
And I never ever want to strive for the opposite of love, but it is something that happens naturally.
Unfortunately, dude. It's like you allowing yourself to grow.
It is something that is necessary for you to carry on. Eventually there will come a point, it doesn't matter how long it takes, it can take months, it can take years, but there will come a point in your life where you will naturally become indifferent.
But don't become indifferent because you're becoming numb, dude. Become indifferent because you're forgiving.
The thing is,
you're forgiving to the completeness that you set them out of your mind. You're forgiving them to the point that they...
Ek hoor meer hypocrisy, ma. Ek hoor meer hypocrisy. What was that thing you told me a couple of weeks ago about you not forgiving your ex of 2 years?
I never said that, dude. I've told you that I forgot.
You said to this day you haven't forgiven her.
No, friend. I think you're mistaken, dude. I have forgiven her a long time ago. I even sent her a message telling that I forgive her. I can show you the messages as well, dude. I forgave her. Well, I'm still angry because of what she did.
That's the big thing.
I think I'm not really angry. I'm disappointed. More is the right word, because I feel like there was so much potential there to be had.
I see you over there.
But do you hear me complaining about it, dude?
I see you.
Do you hear me complaining about it? I'm talking about it now because it's relevant. But it's not something that I hold on to.
Yeah, but it happened to you. It happened to you years ago, my friend. To me, it happened a couple of fucking months ago.
I know, dude. I know. And I'm here for you, bro. I'm sorry. I've listened, dude. Don't fucking put some hate on me, though. I've listened for hours. Tens of hours.
You're one of the few friends I sat down with, and I cried, my bro.
I know, dude. I cried with you, man.
I cried my eyes out, motherfucker. Listen to me, mother. Yo.
I know.
No, Chris.
I know, bro.
Chris.
Yusuf, I fucking cried my eyes out. I cried my eyes out to these people. Yo, my bro. I spent an entire day. I never thought in my life that I could spend an entire day literally crying. Snot all over the place. I never thought I would experience that, and it happened.
But I think
it happened. I cried my eyes out an entire fucking day, from morning till night, snot spewing out of my fucking nose, calling all of the friends I could, telling them I can't believe this is happening to me. It happened.
It's okay, dude. It's what you wanted, bro. It's the experience you called into.
He's on the ground, lying there in the fetal position, like, ow, and you walk up, you're like, fuck you, stabbing him with a knife every now and again. Get over it.
Boys, it is late. We've been streaming for
an hour.
For like an hour and a half. Sorry, yes, sir. I'll let you finish it, man.
No, like just for that's one thing that hurts so bad and it's weird because it's like this hurt that you don't really understand. It's like you don't know what to do about it. Like you feel so fucking lost.
Overwhelming hurt.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
No, I'm
I do
gonna.
understand the pain, Christian, because I've been there as well, friend. But I agree completely with what it is Johan said a little bit ago. Time doesn't heal that wound, dude. It's only you that can heal that wound, bro. And it's only in love that all things are healed. So love yourself.
You're a part of time. You're a part of time, though.
Yeah,
It's
that's
time for you to heal yourself.
that I will agree with. It does take a while for you to heal you, but it's not the expanse of the time of just going on with your life is going to make something better. There's a process to getting over something, and it's not necessarily the 5 stages of grief. Acceptance is great, but it doesn't provide anything for you. It doesn't. You've now just accepted that the thing has happened to you. In my mind, how you get over something, and this is how I'll end it, is it takes the time to sit and appreciate the horrible things and the dread and despair that you felt. And when you can learn...
It's a sense of respect.
I
It's a
agree.
sense of respect for what you had.
It is. And if it is so horrible, if the thing that happened was so bad, there is something that you, as your being, grew out of this horrible and sadness that did end up happening to you. And that is the point where you can love again. It's when you find that reason.
It's like, and this is a terrible example, especially under the recent circumstances, but it is like losing a close relative in your direct family. It is like that. I can tell you, I've experienced these things. It is very, very damn similar, especially if you were so invested into it. Exactly the same. Terrible, terrible amount of pain. But another thing on the positive thing. Oh God, look at Chris.
Wow.
Talking about the positive. Holy crap.
Positive?
What did you do with Chris?
Tell us more.
It will make you grow so astronomically strong. And not only that, but it will make you a fucking better person.
I agree. And to finish the stream off, I want, if any of you are watching right now, to remember that even though hard things happen to us and those hard things happen to us to make us strong, we shouldn't build walls that are impenetrable to the
You're
people
not
that
allowed
love
to
us.
give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
No.
Exactly. Don't give up.
Keep your
Always
heart
allow people to help you. Because that's the only way we can be
You are
helped.
not allowed to give up. It's not even in the options.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Christian. And thank you, Johan, for joining us.
Thanks so much
It
to
was-
everybody.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for accepting us into the stream. It was a fucking privilege. I love the
wait for the
conversations. They
next
have
one.
helped emotionally on a whole different level. Not to say it for any other reason besides the obvious. I love you all very, very much. Yusuf, it was a fucking pleasure to meet you. I hope we speak again in the future.
We'll have more podcasts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Awesome.
There
Thank
we
you so
go.
much.
For sure.
Love
Much
and light
love,
to
everybody.
Love and light to everybody. Take care of yourselves.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.